The Coaches Show is brought to you by Highway 55 Burgers, Shakes, and Fries. The Professional Fence Company. Our name says it all. No job too big or too small. Nunboys.com. And GPS Photography and Video, GPSPhotoandVideo.com. Welcome back. Welcome to the Coaches Show. And Coach, I got my list. I had to find it. I had to take a quick break there. Once again, the Coaches Show is brought to you by Professional Fence Company, profence.com. Find them on the web. Nunboys.com. GPS Photography and Video, GPSPhotoandVideo.com. And of course, Highway 55. We got a lively crowd in here. Everybody's coming by, posing questions, visiting with you, Coach. So, pretty big deal down here. I mean, I got to say, at 0-6, you've never been in this is uncharted territory for you. Yeah. And it's been tough, man. But well, I appreciate you coming down here 6 weeks talking to me, man. I really do. And a lot of parents will express that as well.
Whatever I can do to promote our players and our kids, I appreciate what y'all do to do the same.
Well, a lot of kids we got playing on Saturday. Buxton College, Christian Russell, Ole Miss, Henry Capers, St. Augustine, Tyree Mack, Eastern Michigan, Darius Wirt, Fayetteville State, Detrez Newsom, Western Carolina. He did pretty well against Tennessee, as well as Christian Russell. Seeing him. LaQuest Peterkin, who's at Lane College, Justin Baldwin. I believe he's redshirted, but he's at UNC Pembroke.
Yep.
Michael Aaron, he's redshirted also. He's at UNC Pembroke. Now, these are two guys that came out of here that graduated last year.
Right.
As well as Antonio Peterkin, he's at Winston-Salem State.
He is.
Is he redshirted as well?
Not to my knowledge, not yet.
Okay. Jamal Darden, he's at A&T, North Carolina A&T. Teron Page, he's at Methodist University. And Demetrius Wirt, he's at Lenore Ryan. Mm-hmm. As we talk about recruiting, Coach, and you had probably a little bit of time, we talked about academics during the bye week. What are some of the questions that college coaches, they come into Hope County and they come and see you, and what are some of the questions that they ask?
Well, the first thing they want to know is what their core GPA is, and I do a core GPA calculation sheet that computes that for them. So, I'll give them an unofficial copy of their transcript, and I'll give them that calculation sheet, and it also has their test scores on them. So they know, looking at that, immediately whether or not they can get them in school. The next thing they want to know, the main question I get from all of them is, what kind of person is he? What kind of person is he? Is he the kind of kid that I want to take home, to my house for dinner? Is he the kind of kid that I'm going to leave sitting in a room by himself with my daughter?
Right.
The character's critical.
Right.
When you look at some of the drama college programs are going through now.
Just this week, Shadrack Thornton, running back at A&T or at North Carolina State.
Yeah.
He's gone. I mean,
it's they're constantly fighting a battle with character issues because it's a black eye to the program.
Right.
And they want to recruit kids with good character. They want to recruit kids that they know are good students. They're not going to have to worry about whether or not they're getting up and going to class, doing the things that they got to do to be successful as a student. Because if they're not, they're going to lose them.
Right.
They've wasted a scholarship, and and so that's why we stress so hard, being good students. The number one rating category on our weekly progress profile survey is punctuality.
Right.
Is the student athlete on time for your class? And it's a Likert scale rating, and with it, 1 being never, 2 being sometimes, 3 being average, 4 being most of the time, and 5 being always. And we demand 5s on them. If our kids are not going to class on time, on top of whatever consequences they're getting in school for not being, for being tardy, they've got consequences with us too. We're going to extra duty them, and the next question has to do with their behavior, and we expect 4s and 5s on that, and then the next question is whether or not the student athlete is meeting the teacher's expectations with regard to being prepared for class, and we demand that at least be a 4. If it's not a 4, there's not a whole lot of good going to come out of that. Last I checked, you're not getting in college with C's.
No, you're not. And you're definitely not going on to grad school with C's.
No, you're not. So. And then the last component is a leadership question. We want to know whether or not our student athletes are being leaders in their classroom.
Has the response been mostly positive? I mean, it comes down to bottom line: either they got the grades in the SAT or ACC score, they don't.
Well,
but they're coming to hope.
We asked the teacher, to put their current grade on there. I do have access to Power School. I can pull every one of them's grades, and I do. I cross-reference and double-check with some just to make sure. A lot of times the teacher will put down a grade that has not necessarily been updated in Power School. And as long as that teacher has written that grade down and signed that form.
So it's no longer NC-wise, it's Power School?
Yes, it's called Power School.
Okay.
And, but then sometimes too, if the teacher doesn't put a grade, and this happens a lot, I know they're busy in class a lot of times, but if they leave that portion of it blank, then I go to Power School and just look at what their current grade is. And that also determines whether or not they have tutoring post-practice. We do a mandatory tutoring session 3 days a week, and that's for everyone who does not have at least an 80 or above in their classes.
Well, we definitely have some kids getting recruited. Donovan Worth, Brandon Smith, Jacob Rushing, just to name a few, and I'm sure there's others. But as we progress to, I think it's February 5th, which is signing day, what are the things that kids need to be taken care of now? What are some of the parents need to be watching out for as we get closer to that date? So that they are eligible, meaning that they are eligible to accept a scholarship.
Well, clearinghouse registration is critical.
The NCAA clearinghouse, right?
Got to be registered with them.
That usually needs to happen their junior year?
Yes, it does.
So if they haven't or done that, that needs to happen.
And I'm fairly confident we have all our juniors registered. College admissions tests, SAT and ACT. That's a critical piece of it, especially with the sliding scale now on the core GPA. A lot of kids don't take that piece of it seriously enough. And until colleges just decide they're going to do away with the standardized testing portion as an admission requirement, they got to be mindful of it.
And even in the case like Wake Forest, who does not look at the SAT, they still got to register the clearinghouse.
Right.
So it's not a good news story. Oh, I ain't got to do the SAT.
Well, and it puts with Wake doing it, it puts a heavier emphasis on performance in the classroom.
Right.
If their grades are good and they have an opportunity to play at Wake, test score's not going to matter.
Right.
But those grades got to be good. Those grades got to be real good to get in Wake Forest.
Right. And personality recommendations from the coaches, recommendations from the faculty, all that pays a big dividend.
It does.
13 players, Coach, in college. That's pretty good. Despite having 3 coaching staffs since 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked a little bit about last night. You got transition minus growth. The growth being you got twice we haven't had a freshman team, as well as you're playing younger players. So they have, you got a lot of baby deer out there running on the field, just haven't grown up because we've had to play them because we haven't had those numbers out there. And then that's equal to all the losses. But and that's not an excuse. Those are just facts. Those are facts that are out there. When you have that much change and upheaval, it makes it tough.
It makes it tough on the kids. It does. Continuity is a big key. Consistency and we're establishing that. And we got there's a lot of other things that got to come along with it. We got to continue to work. We got to get stronger. I'd like for us to get faster. I don't know how much faster we can get, but because our team speed's very good. But the strength factor and just being able to arrive fast and to do something with that strength when you get there is a big deal.
3 middle schools pouring in, so it's coming. It's just going to take a little time. Coach, as always, thanks for talking with me. Next week, we're going to talk everything Richmond County as we go into game week. That's here at Raz Archery Stadium next Friday. You don't want to miss that as the Raiders come into town. I'm Glenn Young for Coach Tom Paris. We'll see you next week right here on the Coaching Show at Highway 55. Burgers, shakes, and fries.